Most people think talking to yourself is weird. It's a habit frequently associated with loneliness or an inability to grasp reality. But psychologists have uncovered a different reality. The quiet conversations you have when no one is around actually reveal a rare set of psychological strengths. People who regularly speak their thoughts share 7 specific traits. Trait number 5 is particularly misunderstood. While many dismiss it as a lack of discipline, it serves as a primary mechanism for maintaining high-level attention. Think about the last time you whispered, "Come on, focus," or "Don't forget the keys," only to feel a rush of embarrassment when you realized someone might have heard you. We live in a world that prioritizes constant external noise, yet history's most effective scientists, writers, and athletes regularly used vocal self-talk while they worked. They utilized their own voice as an internal coach, a tool most people never consciously develop. This internal mastery begins with trait number 1, deep self-awareness. Most people spend their lives reacting to emotions as they happen, but those who talk to themselves often observe the process. They ask, "Why am I upset?" out loud, questioning their own motives before they act. This leads directly into trait number 2, stronger problem solving. Speaking forces your brain to translate abstract, confusing thoughts into a strict, logical sequence. Vocalizing an idea provides a second perspective. Flaws in a plan reveal themselves once spoken aloud. This auditory feedback turns vague concepts into concrete steps, slowing impulsive thinking. Articulating brings buried solutions to the surface, clearing away noisy thoughts. That clarity supports trait number 3, better emotional control. While stress makes most people reactive, self-talkers use their voice to coach themselves through pressure. Psychologists call this emotional distance. By telling yourself, "Relax," or "I've handled this before," you step outside the immediate emotional response, viewing the situation objectively. You shift the brain's role from being overwhelmed by anxiety to actively managing the situation. Managing that internal environment paves the way for external output, starting with trait number 4, higher creativity. Creativity is the act of connection. Speaking out loud forces your brain to audit its own assumptions, often triggering an unexpected synthesis of 2 unrelated concepts. This brings us to the characteristic most people get wrong. Trait number 5, extraordinary focus. A common myth says focus is silent. However, researchers found that vocalizing short, specific commands helps the brain ignore distractions and stay strictly on task. You do this when you mutter wallet, phone, keys, or remind yourself to answer that email next. These vocal cues act as a physical guide for your attention. High performers often lack superhuman discipline. Instead, they have learned the mechanical skill of directing their own focus using their voice. In a world where most people immediately look to social media or outside opinions for validation, self-talkers develop trait number 6, independent thinking. By arguing with themselves and testing their own reasoning out loud, these individuals build trust in their own conclusions. They consult themselves first. This self-reliance fuels the final characteristic, trait number 7, a relentless desire to grow. For these individuals, inner dialogue acts as a continuous feedback system. It isn't used for self-criticism, but for constant micro-adjustments to their performance. These thousands of private vocal corrections compound over time, resulting in a noticeable shift in long-term performance. Long-term progress requires this balance, the ability to act as your own objective critic and your own most reliable mentor. The next time you catch yourself talking when no one is around, there is no reason to feel embarrassed. That voice is evidence of sharper thinking, emotional resilience, and the ability to form independent judgments. This habit functions as a sophisticated cognitive instrument, a piece of mental hardware humans have utilized for millennia to navigate the world. If you want to explore the hidden psychology behind human behavior and self-mastery, subscribe to Brain Library. Tell me in the comments, do you talk to yourself when you're alone? And which of these 7 traits describes you best? I'd love to hear your answer.